Welcome back to Astro Buzz on HollywoodAstrology.tv and the Leo King app on theleokingapp.com and the iPhone and Android store. I am your astrologer and host, David Palmer, Leo King. Thank you so much for joining me back again on Astro Buzz, where I combine all the stories in the politics, the celebrity stories, and the news, and combine it with the cosmos and the astrology of what is going on. What's going on this week? It is June the 24th of 2016. Happy summer and happy winter wherever you are on the world. And what is going on in the world? Let's start with a political story right now. Well, coming into the political story, the UK is leaving the EU. Big vote that just happened. More segregation. If you watched my show last week, Neptune and Pisces always has to do with segregation, if you didn't know. Looks like the UK is leaving the flea market. That's right. And it's like the EU seems to be some flea market. Everybody's wanting out of this thing. Why? Guess what? The EU was started on November 1st, 1993. Mercury was retrograde in Scorpio. And more important than that, Mars and Pluto were conjunct in Scorpio at 24 degrees. And guess where Mars is right now? 23 and 24 degrees of Scorpio retrograde. This is the end of, well, I don't want to say it's the end of the EU, but you know what? It might just be the beginning. This might be the first domino right here. This is, first of all, anytime there's a Mercury retrograde and you do a chart, especially for a business, or especially in this case, like a whole, like, I don't even know what you call the EU. Do you call it a federation? Do you call it like a bunch of people? I call it a flea market. But you know what? It's like, you know what? People are leaving the flea market, you know? And this is, I think, very difficult because there's so many other countries in the EU and they're in this deal that I don't think all the facts were revealed. I think there was a lot of money-hungry things. It's a Scorpio with Mars and Pluto in Scorpio, with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. This is not a very friendly place. The EU might look like a great deal, but it's really a terrifying, scary ghost. I'm calling it a flea market. Flea markets scare the shit out of me. You know what I mean? You never know what you're going to get in there. But you know what's interesting about this? The UK always reminds me of a Leo. It's so hard to do with this chart on the UK because there's been so many kings, there's been so many, you know, it's fallen so much and rose back up, and that's kind of like how the UK does things. What's interesting about this story, though, to me the most, is now that we're at this place with where the EU is about to shift, all these other countries are doing all this, they're about to leave this crazy little flea market, like, this is kind of the story of the world right now. And this is the story of this kind of connection with lots of different, whether you call it organizations or groups, is everything needs to be on the up and up. The reason why the last 3 years has been EU crappy hell, especially with Greece and everything, you know why? Saturn went through Scorpio from 2012 to 2015. Now here we have Mars retrograding in 2016. It's not over yet, folks. We got Jupiter coming into Scorpio in 2017. We got Venus going to go retrograde 2 years after, in the next like 2.5, 3 years. It is not over. This is just the beginning, the first domino coming down, and this is the first beef jerky stand at the flea market that's about to peace out. And you know what? The UK kind of does better on its own, right? You know, it's kind of like likes to be the boss, likes to do things on its own. It really doesn't, like, I think, go well with the flea market. It's kind of hard to have like a royal country in a flea market. Not saying all the countries in the EU are a flea market, but I always like to use the analogy like that when you get a bunch of people kind of showing up. And it seems to me with this Mercury retrograde that was born on November 1st, 1993, that's exactly what's happening right now in the EU. Don't go nowhere. We got a couple celebrity stories coming up right now on Astro Buzz. Want the most inspiring, fun, and dynamic horoscopes delivered to your phone every day? And we do it all on video with text message notifications. Download and subscribe to the Leo King app now and wake up to astrology like you've never seen before. Welcome back to Astro Buzz on HollywoodAstrology.tv and the LeoKingApp.com and the Leo King app on the iPhone or Android stores. I am your host and astrologer, David Palmer, Leo King, and we are back to Astro Buzz. And right now, let's go into some celebrity stories right now. Well, let's talk about LeBron James. This is actually kind of a sports story. You know what? LeBron James, right? He just won for the Cleveland Cavaliers their first title, and he also is the MVP, and this might be the last major MVP or, like, I would say championship for him. Ooh, am I really predicting that right now? Let's look at his chart. He's a sun in Capricorn, 9 degrees. He already had Pluto go through there when he got the last couple rings. 2, Pluto's now squaring his moon. That's why this has been about emotions for him. And I'm going to give you some secret about LeBron James that nobody knows about what his power is. It is not in his strength. It is not because he has a lot of manly power. It's his emotions. He has Mars in Pisces, probably the weakest position for Mars. And what it does is it makes him very intuitive with his action. The problem, though, with him is he has a moon in Aries and Uranus is on there, and so he has these extreme emotions that have been propelling him forward. But now that Uranus is done and now that Pluto is done with his 2 illuminating aspects of his chart, we're kind of going to see a Tiger Woods come out. So, you know, LeBron, call up Tiger, baby, because maybe you two could start, like, I don't know, washing cars together or walking around retirement communities. I don't know, bro, but you know what? That's kind of what's going to be going down. Now, I'm not saying he's a sex addict or something, but something's about to come out in LeBron James' world that's going to start the Tiger Woods story. They're both Capricorns. They both excelled at high marks. They both had crazy transits happen to them where they like excelled above and beyond that you ever think was possible in a sports icon. You know what happens when the Capricorn reaches the top of the mountain? It falls. And you know, there's something about him where the transits are kind of peaking and there's not much more to peak out for him. Interesting enough too, next year Pluto will finish squaring his moon, so I think next year he might have a little bit more edge. But you watch, by the end of next season, he's... Sorry folks, some people might not want to hear it. I think he's a cool guy. I got a lot of heart for the guy. I mean, he did a lot of crap, but I think he's kind of personally, you just want to know my personal thing? I just don't like the guy. I just like have never liked him. I think his whole emotion and everything is Uranus on his moon. He's actually going through a Bernie Sanders moment, okay? LeBron James is Bernie Sanders of basketball, like with their moons in Aries and Uranus, and they get everybody hyped up and everything, but everybody's kind of at the end of the day like, I don't know, I mean, I like him, but I don't know, you know, it's kind of like, what's the deal with this guy? Like, I don't know. Something that just doesn't rub me right. Anyway, let's move on to another celebrity that I kind of have a hard time with. Michael Strahan, who was with Kelly Rippa. They had a great relationship, right? Wrong. They're both a Scorpio-Libra relationship does never work out. So if you're in a Scorpio-Libra relationship right now, I'd think twice about it. Sure, the sex might be great. Sure, it might feel really amazing and connected, but underneath, you know it's toxic as fuck. This is a toxic relationship that finally came out. You know what's interesting is the last 4 years was this relationship. And we just finished the Venus transit for the last 4 years, you know, middle of 2012 through middle of 2016, and they finished it. And you know, Michael Strahan, he's a little doll. He'll do whatever ABC tells him. It's like, go hum chickens. Okay, I'll do it and smile. You know, go talk to this little teeny bopper about her horrible album that sounds like shit. Sure, I'll do whatever you want. He just went to Good Morning America. I don't know how much more, like, coffee from Keurig's this guy's gonna need to drink and put on some fake apron and start flipping pancakes. He'll do anything. He will do anything. The thing I actually respect about Kelly Rippa is she won't. She's got Sun in Uranus. She is a wild card. She is a Joker card, okay? She has the same alignment like Donald Trump does, you know? And you know, hey, sure, she might be a little loony, but at the end of the day, she's not gonna do just whatever you know, people want or maybe ABC wants. You know, she's actually kind of a wild card. ABC's a pretty, you know, Disney Channel perfect network. Oh my gosh. And then they got this really crazy Libra on there. She just needs a partnership that's gonna, like, I think tap more into that crazy part of herself and work better. Like, she needs another fire sign, or she needs like another air sign, or another Uranian energy in there. Maybe even a crazy Aquarius. The issue with Michael is just, he is just do whatever's told. He kind of doesn't even have a mind of his own, I'll be honest. I think this guy kind of just like, you know, coach, what do you want me to do? I'll go do it. Okay, and you know, Honestly, Kelly, you're better off. I can't believe that he literally said this week, like, oh, I'm so glad I'm out of there. You know what? You know why you're glad you're out of there, Michael? Is because you don't know how to have fun. You're pretty boring, and I guarantee you wear Fruit of the Looms whitey tighties. Honestly. Scorpio with a moon in Capricorn. Whitey tighties, baby. And I have to move to this next celebrity story with prayers to be asked from all of you. Sinead O'Connor right now is being, she made a phone call saying that she's going to jump off a bridge. She kind of has like a cry for help, for suicide. And I looked at her chart and it's real, folks. She's a double Sagittarius. Mars is retrograding back into her 12th house. It's right on top of her Neptune, which Neptune does rule suicide. It rules kind of psychotic energy. And trust me, I'm a little psychotic too, if you didn't know. But so I'm not saying like she's psychotic, but I'm saying that she's going through a very emotionally sensitive time, and it's very difficult, and it's actually some serious shit going down. So I'm asking for the prayers. I'm asking for it all to go right, and know that she's a double Sag, and she will come out of this. Remember, Saturn's in Sagittarius right now. Sagittarius has been going through a lot. It was a big crazy cross that we just went through. We talked about for the last couple weeks. She will get through. Just please put the prayers out there for her. She's got a very hard chart right now. If she can make it through this week, she can make it through. But let's pray. Let's pray for her. She can get through this. I hate to see stories like this, and I want to end this celebrity segment with some positive energy and say that I believe in this woman. I believe that she has the positivity to get through it, and let's all send some good prayers. Don't go nowhere. We have one more political story when we come back on Astro Buzz. Want the most inspiring, fun, and dynamic horoscopes delivered to your phone every day? And we do it all on video with text message notifications. Download and subscribe to the Leo King app now and wake up to astrology like you've never seen before. Welcome back to Astro Buzz on HollywoodAstrology.tv and the LeoKingApp.com, or get the Leo King app on the iPhone or Android store. I am your host and astrologer, David Palmer, the Leo King. Last story is political, so let's go into the politics section right now. Corey Lewandowski, Trump's old campaign manager. Now, he just got fired from the Trump campaign, but this is the guy who actually made Trump the presumptive Republican nominee. I mean, if you want to say that, right? He's the campaign manager. He's in charge of the campaign. He's a Virgo, so he has all the little data down, all the figuring of things down. What's interesting about him is he got fired and then hired all in the same day, basically. CNN hired him to be a political commentator for their network. Virgos really got Jupiter behind their back. If you actually look at other Virgos right now that are doing well, Jimmy Fallon, dude, that Virgo is killing it right now. Jupiter's in his sign. Charlie Sheen, everybody's looking at me like, what the hell did you just say? Charlie, I think, has learned a lot and is going to come out of what he's been through. And he did come out with his whole HIV thing with Jupiter in his sign. So Jupiter does weird things to people when it's in their sign. I call it the wrecking ball, but it brings good things too. So interesting enough to see Corey, when Jupiter's in your sign, or if you're a Virgo right now, you can have a wrecking ball come into your life, and then it can just move things into a more positive direction. And things are happening so fast right now in the universe, with Mercury going at its full speed right now in its normal sign. This whole UK thing and how it's leaving the flea market is crazy, and how I think we're being revealed and all the information is being shown about so many things right now. LeBron, this whole LeBron thing, I know people think I'm crazy. I know you think I'm crazy, but I think that this is the end of the LeBron peak. This is the peak right here. You saw it. Whitey-tighty Michael Strahan, who will do anything anybody says, literally, hey, buddy, you want to go pick up some dog shit for me? I think he literally, it kind of shows right now, the astrology just shows how people's personalities are and how their energies are. And, he's a Scorpio. He's redefining who he is. And it's interesting to see him, that's really what he wants to define himself as. And Sinead O'Connor, it's hard to go through Mars retrograde in your 12th house. Really, Mars has to do with a lot of the things that are going on in all these things right now. And so I pray for her. But, with Corey Lewandowski, it has to do with Jupiter. And, if you're a Virgo out there, just know something bad can happen and something good can happen just as fast. And in all of our lives, Jupiter in Virgo kind of deals with crises and fixes them fast. So don't trip out. This is a crazy time that we're living in right now. Watch the European Union. I think that this story is the most important of this week's Astro Buzz, because you know what? There was so much that we weren't being shown and revealed. A European Union built in Scorpio with Mars and Pluto in Scorpio, their natural planets, and home at the exact same degree with a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, shows that it's not all on the up and up that you might think that it is. Thanks so much for watching another Astro Buzz. Make sure that you find me on Facebook at The Leo King or David Lawrence Palmer. And of course, get the Leo King app at theleokingapp.com or find us on HollywoodAstrology.tv. Thanks so much for all your support, and I will see you on next week's Astro Buzz.